Hey church, one of the benefits of being multi-site is that it's pretty easy to keep our social distancing, but we thought it'd be fun to go around and see what people are up to, see what's happening behind the scenes, and get an idea of what's going on in church life in these strange days. All right, we're here at the garage. We're gonna check in with our program director over here, Leanne. Leanne, how have you been doing in this midst of all the COVID-19 craziness?
It's been pretty good. It's been crazy here a bit with all the different protocols and everything, but everyone's adjusting really well and doing very well.
What do you miss most about, normal life pre-COVID-19?
I really miss having our community meals together, seeing this place full of people and enjoying each other and catching up with each other. We really miss that.
And how about in the Leanne behind the scenes? What have you been busying yourself with? What have you been enjoying? Maybe something new you've tried?
Oh, wow. I feel like between the kids being home and managing that and then managing things here, I don't know that I've tried a lot, but I did cook a nice big Easter dinner.
One more question for you, Lan. The world opens up tomorrow. All restrictions are down. You can do anything. What's the first thing that you do?
I am gonna go and run and hug all of my friends very tightly. Get up close to everyone.
Fun times. All right, on to the next. What you doing there?
Oh, hey, Chelsea.
You got a shovel shop going on here.
Yeah, just doing some organizing, figure what I got, what I need.
Cool. And what have you been busy with during this whole pandemic? I mean, there's nobody in here to mess up your buildings, but I see that maybe you've done some messing up, or somebody else.
Yeah, we've messed up our buildings pretty good here over this last season. Right now we're doing a huge deep clean of all of our facilities. So we're doing a bunch of custodial, doing a bunch of steam cleaning and chair cleaning and all that fun stuff. So just we don't ever have time to do that. So yeah.
And what's been challenging about this season facilities wise, or maybe it hasn't been challenging, maybe it's been kind of nice?
Well, it's been challenging in that we're getting everything clean, but we don't know when it's going to be used again. So that's a big challenge.
Now, I heard that you're very into basketball, and I know you had taken some time off for March Madness. Can you talk a little bit about what it felt like to miss out on that?
Yeah, I was very sad, and actually it's a funny thing because I'm actually wearing this today. My sister-in-law had me made this shirt for me, and it says March Sadness instead of March Madness. So I'm wearing this around as a way to shout out my basketball and stuff that I miss, but yes, it's funny.
So how have you been filling your time without the basketball, without the sports? What are you doing now?
It's hanging with my girls, watching some videos, letting them get their creative juices on as they do a bunch of painting and stuff around the house and stuff. So yeah, keeping busy with that and just projects at home, all those kind of things. Yeah. And how come you're asking all the questions? I want to ask some questions. I'm going to take your spot and I'm going to ask you some questions. I got my microphone here. I'm going to ask you some questions. Huh? How do you like those questions? What do you do here, Chelsea? What's your role? What have you been doing during this time?
Well, I've had a lot of things that I've been on the back burner that I've been doing, the old HR things. Scott, this has been fun, but I've got to say, your way around a shovel a little better than your way around a microphone. So we're going to go check on Carolyn. I think she's over at the warehouse. Thank you, Scott. So we've come to the warehouse. I believe Carolyn is around here somewhere, and we're lucky enough to catch her in the natural habitat of the warehouse here. As you can see, we've been well resourced. Much caffeine has been consumed. Carolyn, I did not know you drank so much coffee.
Well, I do, sort of. Chai tea lattes, actually.
Okay. I see. Well, I'm glad that we've been keeping you well energized during these times. I know it can be kind of a downer. How have you felt that you've been challenged in your role here as the care and marriage and family pastor?
I think the most challenging thing is not being able to be with people, not being able to go visit, not being able to have meetings, interact with people, guide people face to face.
So I imagine you're spending a lot less time in the office, probably a lot more time at home. What's that been like spending more time with your housemates, particularly perhaps your husband? I don't know if there's others living with you.
Yeah, so it's Todd and Carly and I. Thankfully this week, Todd went to work at the office, and that's been very helpful, just having a little bit of space.
Excellent. And other than that, what's been really challenging you in your personal life as you navigate this new normal?
Yeah, personally, it's been pretty difficult because we have 2 weddings in our family. One that's supposed to happen May 22nd, the other July 26th. There's a lot of emotion around that.
Now, you've been a part of church world, so to speak, for a while now. Is there anything about church that you've newly learned or experienced in light of this whole pandemic?
I think probably what strikes me the most is how the church can go on in spite of not being able to gather. So often we say the church isn't about a building. It's really about the people, and I'm witnessing that, seeing how we're able to stay connected as a church, we're able to continue to grow spiritually, we're able to continue to get God's word out to people, and still see ministry happening in spite of the social distancing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it gives a whole new meaning to the house church idea we have. We're doing it now, for real. So if anybody was into Acts, we get to do this now. It's really great. Well, thanks, Carolyn. We're going to continue on. I think Jen's around here somewhere. We're going to see what she's up to. Awesome. Oh, there she is. Jen, can I talk to you for a minute? Oh, for sure. Great, thanks. So Jen, you're part of our community serving team. Obviously, having some inability to be with people, what does your job really look like now in light of the pandemic?
Well, we can't have groups anymore, unfortunately. So what we've been doing is we've been doing other things to reach out to moms in the community, making a lot of phone calls, a lot of texting, Zoom chats. We did our first Zoom moms group on Tuesday, which was super fun. We've also been dealing with a lot more crisis lately. During the pandemic, the increase to those who've experienced intimate partner violence increases. So we've been trying to meet the needs in that, do safety planning with our moms, as well as provide fun, different activities for them to do with their kids just to stay sane during this time.
So Jen, between you and your community team, have you guys experienced any wins, any moments that you've just found to be like really shining lights in this time?
There's a few stories, but one actually happened this morning when I was helping change a stroller tire. For one of our moms, we were able to talk and connect in her driveway, and then another one of our moms from the community showed up, so we had a little get together. It was awesome.
Well, thanks so much, Jen. We're gonna head over and see if we can find Ben over at the factory. Come join me. Ben, I heard you've been using your time very wisely these past couple weeks and been making sourdough. Is that right?
Yes, for the first time in my life, I've baked bread from scratch, sourdough with no yeast. I started it by myself. Yeah, just using the natural bacteria in the air.
And I guess the $1 million question is it any good?
My kids say it's good, and they're very fussy when it comes to bread products. So yes, I would say it's okay.
All right, now maybe more seriously, how have you been doing personally throughout this whole pandemic?
I just have to turn off my alarm. Hang on. Okay, perfect. It's been interesting for sure. We are learning how to do sound and worship in a whole new way and mix for a little screen or a computer or a television rather than gathering all together.
And does it change things, having this big band playing with nobody in the building? I mean, maybe the sound changes, but maybe how does your experience change?
It does change. It's a little bit of a different experience where we are playing out to a camera and a few tech people, but we're hoping that they're worshiping just as much as all of us on stage.
So what has been the wind in your sails these days?
Oh my. Well, sourdough was one. And I learned how to cut my own hair, I guess.
You heard it here first, everyone. We've got a Neufeld family sourdough and hair cutting business coming at you very soon. Stocks are expected to fly. Get yours now. Well, I thought we were going to be able to find Todd at the fire hall, but he was not in his office as Carolyn suggested, so we're going to have a look at the warehouse. There he is, lead pastor Todd. How's it going?
Hey, Chels, good.
Wondering these days how you feel about your job.
You know what? I love my job. These are challenging times, obviously, but there's a lot of opportunities that are happening during this season as well.
And so has there been any new things that you've been experimenting with, either in ministry or maybe in your personal life?
I mean, thankfully, we've got so many tech systems in place already that it wasn't a huge change for that first weekend. But the online experience, when we had 600 devices joining us at one time, we knew, all of us in the room teared up in that moment when we saw that number, knowing that we're actually connecting people and with people in their families, in their pajamas, some people laying in bed, as they are, but they're coming to church. And so then we really began to look at how else we can modify what we're doing.
So with things looking so different behind the scenes, you alluded to maybe some fun moments. What's been going on that we don't get to see from home?
Well, there was a moment a couple of weekends ago when Carolyn was about to do a pastoral prayer right here at the warehouse, and we're set up on a very tight shot. And the sun had been behind the clouds, and so that was perfect lighting. But for the first time here at the warehouse while we were filming, the sun popped out from behind the clouds, and we realized it was coming right in the windows and was about to drown out our shot. So while the video was playing, or Ben was leading worship, I think, I ran to the shed. I grabbed a piece of 4x8 coroplast, and while she's doing the pastoral prayer, I'm on a ladder about 10 feet over, holding a piece of coroplast 12 feet off the ground to block the sun, so she can just get through her shot.
And so going back to earlier, we were talking about just what drives you to do what you do. Are there some strong values that you hold close or that you keep in mind throughout this whole thing?
And one of the things that I'm really enjoying during the season is creative communication. God has given me some passion for creative communication. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. Some of our staff, our creative staff, are on layoffs right now. So I grabbed my cell phone and we're doing videos by cell phone. We did the dance video with you. It was a total experiment to see if there was any chance we could make something work. But it was a lot of fun to be able to experiment. Larissa with the charcoal on Good Friday. We're trying different ways of communicating. We're very aware that the TV screen medium of worship maybe has a shorter attention span. So we're trying, one of our values is to not bore people. So we want to keep people engaged and want to keep them engaged with a message that is really bringing hope. So I think that's one of the values that has really been driving our weekend services so far.
I have one last question for you. You pretend that tomorrow everything goes away, no more COVID, no more restrictions, you can meet with as many people as you want. What's the first thing you do?
Oh, that is so easy. I would be asking Ben to write a song, a celebration song for when we come back together, and I'm going to listen to that song, and we're going to plan, and maybe you'll end up doing a dance for that song, and it'll be a Riverwood original song that we're going to dance to, which would be so cool.
Wow, okay. Back to me. Ben is gonna be so excited to hear about this. I can't wait for you guys to hear our brand new song. We're gonna play it the first day we come back.